Yung TARA system is nothing new to you.
Your Honor, wala pa ako sa customs. TARA system is already there.
Yung may tinatawag kang mafia that would control the BOC. And you stand by that allegation po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you mentioned earlier that you've served 17 years in BOC. And TARA system has always existed. So this mafia has always existed?
Yes, Your Honor. During the time of the administration of the past administration, Your Honor, that there was a Davao Mafia.
Just some points po, no, just to corroborate siguro. I'd like to direct some questions to Mr. Guban, if the committee would hear it. So, Mr. Guban, through the Honorable Chairman, matanong lang po, no, you too have had an experience in this TARA system. You have insights po, tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And this is stemming from your experience as, I believe you were an intel officer po ba? Or ano po yung position niyo dati?
I am an intelligence officer, Your Honor.
Just to give us a brighter idea, kasi alam naman po natin, in general terms, yung TARA system would be a way by means yung ating mga brokers, mga importers would collude with, allegedly, with public officers in the customs to bring in goods illegally, either through, I think there's technical smuggling and actual smuggling po, no? These are the usual crimes that would be associated with the TARA system. But I'd just like to ask po, no, because sa amin po, for example, hindi naman po kami from that industry. We don't understand po yung structure. Yung Bureau of Customs is generally, that's a national body po, no? Pero do we operate like our other agencies na by region po ito? Or ano po yung structure ng BOC?
Yes, Your Honor, by district. Like for example, Your Honor, we have the different districts in Batangas Port, Subic, Davao, Cebu. Then in Manila, we have two ports. The Manila North Harbor and the South Harbor.
So, Mr. Guban, sorry, makat lang po. No? So, generally, ang agencies po natin, kasi nalalaman natin, for example, when we're talking about DepEd, when we're talking about DOLE, it's geographical po, no? Based on regions, generally, ang ating division. We lump cities and municipalities into provinces, provinces into regions, and regions into the national whole. Pagdating po sa customs, it does not follow yung ating municipalities and city structure po, no? It's depending on the port.
Depending on the port, Your Honor. Not exactly the geographical situation, Your Honor.
Okay, so ang pinaka-basic structure natin would be district. The port
District, Your Honor. Port
And
district.
we're only talking of seaports po ba? Hindi po kasama yung mga airport?
Kasama po yung airport, Your Honor. International Airport in Clark, Cebu, Mactan International Airport. Then, of course, the NAIA.
Okay. And I'm sure our current representative from Customs can confirm naman po, no? This is just general knowledge, tama po?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So we have districts, collectors district, ano po yung tawag natin dito?
District Collector, Your Honor. The
District.
head of office, Your Honor, on that particular district ay collector, District Collector, Your Honor.
The pinaka-basic structure will be yung port, yung districts natin. And then you have the district collector, which is the head. And they report, meron bang regional, meron bang by Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, or straight to the Bureau?
Your Honor, diretso na po yan sa Office of the Commissioner.
Okay, so the Office of the Commissioner, which is composed of how many commissioners nga po tayo?
One Commissioner, Your Honor, and I think this are about 3 Deputy Commissioner and 1 Assistant Commissioner.
Yung Deputy Commissioners po natin, is that by operational area or different, ano?
Nationwide, Your Honor.
Nationwide, all 3. So, 1 commissioner, 3 deputies, and then yung district collectors po natin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Where does your intelligence office come into play?
Your Honor, we have also Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence Group. Then, to CIIS, Customs Intelligence and Investigation Service.
Okay. And ano po yung trabaho ng ating intelligence service?
Well, of course, Your Honor, we are gathering information who are those brokers and importers na illegally nag-i-import or fraudulently declaring goods na hindi tama at saka yung iba naman ay totally illegal or hindi lang technical smuggling kundi pure smuggling or outright smuggling.
So yung target po ng inyong intelligence work is usually in the outside, yung mga those who would collude po, no, yung importers and brokers.
Not only, Your Honor, that includes the inside because we are also working against the customs personnel, Your Honor.
So yung BOC, merong opisina sa loob under the Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence Service po, no, that works on both ends. It's to catch yung mga smugglers that are working for yung private persons and also against yung mga public officials po natin.
Yes, Your Honor.
And nabanggit po kanina nung ating legal officer po, no? Of course, the legal office would be more on the in the name legal side po, no? Pero sabi niya, tama po ba, Mr. Legal Officer of the BOC, na you mentioned wala kayong administrative case that you're aware of regarding TARA system?
Yes, Your Honor.
Even in the Sandigan, wala po tayong mga cases that you're not aware of, mga cases filed against Bureau of Customs?
I have a case which was, I think it's entrapment, Your Honor. It was conducted by NBI. But the case was dismissed by the Regional Trial Court and pending admin case.
And these were yung cases po regarding yung smuggling po talaga? The entrapment was in relation to TARA particularly?
It's a, well, I don't know if I can discuss the circumstances, but it was a kind of a entrapment of a drop-off of a sum of money.
Okay, so it's in relation to graft and corruption within the BOC. So, which should be high related because of the field of BOC that would be in the customs industry. We're talking of how the graft is related to yung smuggling and technical smuggling, tama po. That would be the natural case because what other purpose would there be bribery po, no, in the BOC if not to smuggle?
That's correct.
So in a way, it's related. And sometimes po, we have related yung ating mga drugs cases, which is what brings us here to begin with. You mean to tell me, just to clarify po, no? So you are aware of yung mga drugs cases po natin?
In particular, sir, itong EMT case, we have had a conviction on this case, Your Honor.
So you've had a conviction in this case. And actually, part of the legal service is kayo po mismo ang nagpa-file ng mga kaso, no?
This was filed by the legal service, correct? And yeah, this has been, we have obtained a conviction on this case, but still under appeal. I did 3 accused filed an appeal, and the other one filed a motion for reconsideration. It's now pending before the court, Regional Trial Court, and the Court of Appeals.
So like the legal service po through the Honorable Chairman, like the intelligence service, I mean, ang legal service po is pointed outwards towards yung mga private persons, yung importers, yung brokers, and also inwards. You would also file cases po against your own. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you mean to tell me po, just to confirm, in the case of Mr. Mark Taguba, in which supposedly yung sa EMT, yung with drugs are now related, and there was a mention of the TARA, you would still say na di nyo po alam na may TARA system?
In the EMT case, Your Honor, it's a case of, I suppose it was a case of misdeclaration, and then it was discovered upon source outside of the Philippines, and information came in that a certain shipment contains drugs. So when they acted on that active intelligence, they were able to follow the shipment, and they were able to follow and go to the site or location and found the items, Your Honor. The 5 crates, metal crates containing this shabu, Your Honor.
But of course, since you are following this case, the allegations by Mr. Taguba that there is TARA system, that's the first time you've heard of it in your tenure in the BOC.
I've heard about the TARA system that was mentioned by Taguba during the Senate inquiry on the matter. I believe I can remember that it was published, it was aired live, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'll come back to that na po, no? Or perhaps in the next hearing when hopefully si Commissioner will join us because we want to take the input rin po of the BOC itself. But okay, we'll go back po siguro to Mr. Guban, please. With the
Pardon,
indulgence of Chairman Akop. Mr. Guban, So, going back to the question po, no, I just wanted to confirm kasi po with legal, yung organizational structure po nila. And like the intelligence service, they focus both on the outside and inside the BOC. And sa inyo naman po, intelligence service, and you were serving under, is this directly under the Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence?
The CIS Director, Your Honor. Kami
CIS,
mga personnel po, Director po ang nakaka-under sa amin directly.
And you operate nationwide po, or are you assigned per district?
Per district also, Your Honors.
So per district, saan ka na-assigned at your last post?
During that time at the Port of Manila.
Port of
Your
Manila,
Honor.
which is the biggest?
One among the biggest, Your
One
Honor.
amongst the biggest. So from your, how many years nga po yun, sir, that you mentioned? Your service
17 years.
Around 17 years of service in the BOC.
In
This
BOC.
was fully intelligence.
Yes, Your Honor.
And yung TARA system is nothing new to you.
Your Honor, wala pa ako sa Customs. I was with Economic Intelligence and Investigation Bureau before I became an intelligence officer in the Customs. TARA system is already there.
And it's always been the same, yung red lane, green lane, yellow lane.
Before, Your Honor, wala pa yan asikuda. I think that was during the time of Commissioner Paraino na nag-modernize. Then pinalitan na lang selectivity system because of the computerization. So, I think pagkapatapos ni Commissioner Paraino, then the next Commissioner, I think that was Commissioner Morales, unti-unti na po nag-modernize, digitalize na po ang custom. So, ginawa na po yung selectivity system. So, nagkaroon na po niya ng super green lane, green, yellow, red, orange.
Well, Mr. Guban, through the Honorable Chairman, kasi nabanggit po earlier when it was being discovered, I think, by Congresswoman Luistro, very particular po no, yung pagbanggit ng TARA together with the expose of Mr. Taguba, na yung TARA po is in relation to the process, may green lane, yellow lane, red lane, and how it's able to ease the inflow of whether it's underdeclared or totally illegal po, no, na smuggled goods. Yun yung na-mention na process. But you mentioned time immemorial. So, even before the process of red, green, yellow, even before digitalization, may TARA. What was the very concept of TARA? Kung ganun po.
Your Honor, as if na mapabilis ang transaction para yung papel ay bumilis at hindi na masyado higpitan ng personnel. So, that is almost the same, Your Honor, partnership. Hindi na examine ng 100%, maybe 10 or 20%. Then at the same time, wag na dumaan masyado sa x-ray. Saglit na lang, then okay na because of the TARA. Then that is also the time, Your Honor, na hindi mo na ngayon madidetect kung ano ang laman ng container, kung ano ang nasa loob. Kahit na anong indeklara nila, baliwala na po sa mga empleyado ng custom dahil connected or may TARA na. So may per container na.
So, whether or not the process was in relation to digital or mano-mano or kung ano man previous, merong TARA in the sense na there is influence being peddled to connect private persons to public officers to facilitate yung smuggling. Yun po yung basic na sinasabi.
Yes, Your
sa
Honor,
inyo.
that is the very basic.
But if I'm not mistaken, kayo po ba, Mr. Guban, or si Mr. Tagubay, nag-mention na may central command?
There was a central command, Your Honor, pero si Mr. Taguba, binanggit niya rin po yan.
Nabanggit rin. But you are aware also the central. Can you
Yes, that is-
elucidate po, ano po yung central command that you're referring to?
Well, I think, Your Honor, this started the central command from the time of Commissioner Paildon na kung naglagay silang lahat represented para mapabilis ang proseso. I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Pero doon po yun ang central command na sila ang nagbibigay ng go signal to all the districts, including our offices, different offices, kung mali or hahabulin ng container o hindi. Then that was also the experience of Mark Taguba.
So it's not innately wrong. Yung central command pala is just a structural thing.
That was already part of the structure, Your Honor.
Okay, it's a structural thing, but it's the exposure to TARA which lends it to
The most
abuse.
expensive, Your Honor, because it will not be done. Ang TARA doon sa Central Command, if there is no clearance from the higher officer, they will never impose any single centavo there if those people within that command does not have an approval, Your Honor.
And maybe just a quick confirmation from Commissioner Faildon that this is the same finding that you've had despite during your tenure?
Yes, Your Honor. We created the Central Command to facilitate the processing of, that's one reason, the processing of, for trade facilitation. Number two is, because nalaman ko nga na mayroong TARA system. And every port have their own activity there. That's why the command system is the one who issues yung alert. And the representative of that command center is from the different, there are 6 deputy commissioners. So it's, hindi po siya 3, 6 po siya. So these are the experts, these are our technocrats who are homegrown there, understands the nitty-gritties of importation. They have representative in that command center. And this is headed by Deputy Commissioner Gambala at that time. This was also subject to some court litigation filed by some of the importers, but it was dismissed. In fact, it was also reinstated by one of the succeeding commissioner because it was really good. Kasi ang hirap, 38 ports, kanya-kanyang alert sila eh. We do not want to burden the importation of commodities. That's why the purpose of that CENTCOM, Central Command, is to centralize the issuances of pag i-hold mo yung isang commodity. Kasi that is where the corruption starts. I-alert ka nila and then maglalagay ka para i-release. So we put that purposely to facilitate the trade. Nawala na yung kanya-kanya silang turf. So those representative coming from the different 6 Deputy Commissioner's Office come up with a collegial decision whether this commodity will be alerted or not. So it is a collegial body. It is also organized to stop the TARA system, whether it become effective or not. That is why we have several apprehensions like the Mighty, who later on we file a case. Nanalo nga po tayo ng 33 billion. We have apprehended several yacht. May aeroplano pa kaming. So those are the result of that. But some importers did not like it because siyempre tatamaan ka kung meron kang nitty-gritties na ginagawa. So it's really the two sides of the coin. Who is nagsasabi ng totoo dito? So I leave it to your judgment whether it is. Yes, there was a case filed against it, but it was dismissed. The court find it legal and within the authority of the commissioner to put that up. That's why one of my successors instated it later on. Yeah, they called it cooperation center, but it functions the same. So I don't see it as something that is being projected by other sectors. It was really there to facilitate the trade and to curb the TARA system, Your Honor.
Thank you, former Commissioner. So just to clarify po, no, in your opinion, the creation of this operational center was to fight a parang decentralized TARA. TARA within yung mga district.
Yes, Your Honor, we did not just create that. During my time, we put CCTVs nationwide in all the ports. So we have eyes on all the ports and all the offices. That's why many people do not like it. In fact, there were hundreds of officials na nahuli namin through that system. Dahil nakatuto kami. And we filed cases, may na-dismiss, meron captain ng customs police, nahuli namin dyan sa tara-tara na yan. And was filed a case, dismissed. So, it was doing good when I was the one running it. That's why may mga umayaw doon sa sistema kasi nabago eh. Yung little turf nila in every port, nawala yon. So we removed their power to issue alert. Kasi yan ang nag-uumpisa yan, i-alert kita pag di ka magbigay. So tinanggal po namin yun, naging centralized siya.
Thank you, Commissioner. So at least we got your opinion na it was to combat yung mga little TARA systems nationwide. However, the allegation, I believe, of if it was Mr. Guban or Mr. Taguba is that yung, naging central na rin po yung TARA. Dahil may central command, it became a smaller world where these are the only people whose palms you had to grease. Allegedly po, no? But I understand where you're coming from po, Commissioner. So with that said po, no? So we have now, although the structure is supposedly by district, naging centralized na po ito. And it reminds me of a statement that you made, Mr. Guban, yung may tinatawag kang mafia that would control the BOC. And you stand by that allegation po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you mentioned earlier that you've served 17 years in the BOC. And TARA system has always existed. So this mafia has always existed?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
But this mafia would be composed of which personalities po ba?
Well, different. That was during the time of the administration of the past administration, Your Honor, that there was a Davao Mafia.
Yes, you mentioned particularly the Davao Mafia.
Yes,
and at
Your
the
Honor.
time you mentioned both officials, private persons, and there were importers that were participating. Although, yung focus nyo po was mostly on yung public officials po, no?
Public officials and private, Your Honor, because they are, sila po ang in fact, hindi yung commissioner ang nagko-control, but the Davao Mafia ang nagko-control ng customs during that time, Your Honor.
Paano po yun nangyayari? If I understand the head of the BOC would be the commissioner po, or at least the deputy commissioners, how could you say that a mafia controls the BOC?
There were calls na tumatawag. According to our reports, may tawag from the Davao to the commissioner, then the commissioner down the line pababa po.
But, sige po, so you're focusing mostly on the Davao Mafia. But you mentioned also that since time immemorial, before your 17 years, meron ng Tara. And it seems to be that what you are saying is yung Tara and the Mafia are closely linked. So even before this previous administration, may Mafia rin po ba?
Inside of the customs, Your Honor, there is a group of syndicate people, Your Honor, na talaga nag-influence pagdating dyan sa Tara system.
So nagbago lang in the latest, in the past administration kasi the Mafia was now outside.
Different, Your Honor, yun. Yung iba yung before ng administrasyon. Ngayon naman, Honor, kung sino po ang nakalagay doon, from the commissioner down, hindi po mawawalang Tara pag hindi inaaprobahan galing sa taas.
But in either case, this is a case of influence peddling.
Yes, Your Honor.
Whether sa loob man, in the case of the mafia that existed prior to the last administration, or a hybrid in which public officers in the BOC and yung sa Davao Mafia, it's all about influence peddling to facilitate this smuggling.
Yes, Your Honor. That is all about influence peddling.
Siguro po, Mr. Chair, I'd have further questions for the BOC mismo. I'd like to reserve it siguro po for when Commissioner Rubio is here. So for now, I'd like to terminate. Thank you po, Mr. Guban. Thank you, Mr. Chair.